Okay, today we are going to add a little bit more to what we learned in our last lesson with the long division standard algorithm. Today we'll be dividing by digits that won't necessarily be divided easily by our divisors. Remember, we still have to go digit by digit and use our 4 steps and repeat them. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. We'll get started with this problem. I want you to watch me without writing anything for this problem. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first digit, which is 7. And I'm doing 7 divided by 5. Well, there aren't an even amount of 5s that go into 7. And I want to get closest to 7 without going over. I know that 5 times 1 is 5, and 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 2 would be too much, so only one 5 goes into 7. So I place my answer there. I divided. 7 divided by 5 is 1, with some left over. So we'll find that out by multiplying 1 times 5. 1 times 5 is 5. Now we subtract. 7 minus 5 is 2. Then I go to my next step, which is to bring the next digit down, which is this 5. So now I'm looking at 25. And I'm going to start my steps all over again. So I'm going to divide 25 divided by 5. And I do know a multiplication fact that helps me answer that. 25 divided by 5 is 5. Can't seem to write my 5 today. There it is. Okay. So I divided 25 divided by 5 equals 5. Now I multiply. 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. I line it up by place value under the remainder that I had last. 25. Now I subtract. 25 minus 25 is 0. I don't have any other numbers to bring down, and I don't have a remainder, so my answer is 15. That's my quotient. What I want you to do is we're going to pause the video, and you're going to write 75 divided by 5 on your desk, and you're going to work it out, and then you're going to take turns with your shoulder partner to explain your work. Go ahead. Okay, let's move to another problem. During this problem, I want you to work the problem on your desk with me as I go. Okay, so we're going to start with this 4 and do 4 divided by 2 to get started with the first step. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So we write the 2 here. Now we move to multiplication. 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. We place it here. Now it's time to subtract to see if there's a remainder. 4 minus 4 is 0. The next step is to bring the next digit down. So we're going to bring this 1 down, and we have a 1. Okay, so now we've got to start back over with our process. So now it's time to divide again, and we're going to do 1 divided by 2. But when I think of how many 2's are in 1, there's no 2's in 1, so my answer is 0. Now I move to multiplication. 0 times 2. 0 times 2 is 0. Now I move to subtract. 1 minus 0 is 1. And then I move to the last step, and I bring the next digit down. So now I'm left with 18. It's time to start the process over again. So what we're going to do is 18 divided by 2. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Now we multiply. 9 times 2. 9 times 2 is 18. Now we subtract. 18 minus 18 is 0. There are no other numbers to bring down. I have 0 left, so I have no remainder. So the answer is 209. I want you to erase your work and try this problem again on your own and take a moment to explain it to your shoulder partner, taking turns. So go ahead and pause, and then we'll get started on our next problem. Okay, let's try a new problem. For this one, I want you to go ahead and write 648 divided by 6 on your desk. And I want you to work it out on your own. And then we'll come back to the recording and we'll check your work. Make sure to share with your shoulder partner how you got your quotient. Okay, so let's check our work. We started with the first digit, and we're going to do 6 divided by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. Then we multiply. 1 times 6. 1 times 6 is 6. Next we subtract. 6 minus 6 is 0. And our next step is to bring down the next digit. So now we have 4 divided by 6. Well, there's no 6's in 4, so we have to go with a 0, and then we multiply. 0 times 6. 0 times 6 is 0. Next we subtract. 4 minus 0 is 4, and then we bring down the next digit, which is 8. Now we do 48 divided by 6, and we know from our facts that that's 8. Next we multiply. 8 times 6. 8 times 6 is 48. Now we subtract. 48 minus 48 is 0. We have no more digits to bring down. We have no remainder, so our final quotient is 108. Okay, let's try another problem. Now we're going to go to a 4-digit dividend. I think that you can still do it. It's just another digit to bring down. So why don't we go ahead and pause the video and you try it on your own, explain it with your partner, and then we'll check your work. Okay, welcome back. First we're going to divide. We start with this digit, 8 divided by 7. There's only one 7 in 8 without going over, so 1. Now we multiply. 1 times 7. 1 times 7 is 7. Next, subtract. 8 minus 7 is 1. Bring down the next digit. So we have 17. We're trying to figure out how many 7's go into 17. I know that 7 times 2 is 14, and 7 times 3 is 21, which is too much. So only 2 7's can go into 17. So I'll put a 2 there. Next time multiply. 2 times 7. 2 times 7 is 14. Now it's time to subtract. 17 minus 14 is 3. And we bring down the next digit, 39. Now we're trying to figure out how many 7's go into 39. If I think about my facts, I know that 7 times 5 is 35, and 7 times 6 is 42. 42 is too much, so I'm going to go with the 5, so I don't go over. Now I multiply. 5 times 7. 5 times 7 is 35. Next I subtract. 39 minus 35 is 4. My next step is to bring down the next digit, which is 2. So now I'm working with 42 divided by 7. I know from my fast facts that that will be 6. Now I do the multiplication. 6 times 7 is 42. Next I subtract. 42 minus 42 is 0, and there's no other digits to bring down. I don't have a remainder. I make sure to put my comma up there, and now I know my quotient is 1,256. Okay, let's try another one. Again, we're going to pause the video. I want you to try this one on your desk. 7,155 divided by 3. And you'll also explain it to your shoulder partner, and then we'll come back and check your work. Okay, let's check it. First we start with 7 and do 7 divided by 3. How many 3's are in 7? Well, I know that that is 2, because if I put 3 that would be 9 and it would be too much. So now I multiply 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Next I subtract. 7 minus 6 is 1. I bring down the next digit, that's 1. Now I'm trying to figure out how many 3's are in 11 without going over. I know that 4 3's makes 12, so that'll be too much. So I'm going to go with 3. And then I multiply 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Next I subtract. 11 minus 9 is 2. And I bring down the next digit. Now I'm going to do 25 divided by 3. How many 3's go into 25? I think about my facts. I know that 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 9 is 27. That's too much. So I'm going to go with the 8. And now I multiply. 8 times 3. 8 times 3 is 24. Now I subtract. 25 minus 24 is 1. And I bring down the next digit. So now I'm going to do 15 divided by 3, which I know is 5. Now I multiply 5 times 3, which is 15. Then I subtract. 15 minus 15 is 0. There are no more digits to bring down. I have no remainder left, so I know that my final quotient is 2,385. Let's try one more problem. On your desk, I want you to try 2 divided by 1,264. Remember, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. I want to point out something before you get started. You'll notice that with your first digit, no 2's go into 1. So you can start your problem by placing a 0 here and going through your multiplication. Or what you can do is decide to just start with this 12 and do 12 divided by 2. But if you do that, make sure that you put your answer right here above the ones place in the 12. Okay, so start on that and see how you do, and then we'll check our work together. Okay, I'm going to show this problem to you 2 ways. First, I'm going to show you using it digit by digit. First, I divide. 1 divided by 2. There are no 2's in 1, so I'm going to place a 0. Multiply 0 times 2, which is 0. Now I subtract. 1 minus 0 is 1. Then I bring down my 2. Now I divide. 12 divided by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Now I multiply. 6 times 2. 6 times 2 is 12. Now I subtract. 12 minus 12 is 0, and I bring down my next digit. Okay, now I divide again. 6 divided by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now I multiply. 3 times 2 is 6. I subtract. 6 minus 6 is 0. I bring down the next digit, which is 4. Oops, let me get rid of this circles I made. There we go. 3 times 2 is 6. I subtracted. I brought down the 4. Okay, now I'm doing 4 divided by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now I multiply. 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Next I subtract. 4 minus 4 is 0. There are no more digits to bring down, and I don't have a remainder here. Now I look at the answer, and this 0 here in the thousands place is not necessary, so I know that my quotient is 632. Okay? Now let me show you how you would start this problem if you didn't want to start with a 0 there. This is the way it's generally done, but you can do it either way. When I'm doing division, long division, and I notice that my first digit can't be divided by my divisor, I can skip that digit and just use the first 2 digits as 1. So here I'm going to do 12 divided by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. I'm going to make sure to place the 6 above that 2. Then I would do 6 times 2 is 12. Then subtract. Then bring down the next digit. 6 divided by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. Subtract. 6 minus 6 is 0. Bring down the next digit, which is 4. Now I'm going to do 4 divided by 2, which is 2. Then I multiply 2 times 2, which is 4. Subtract. No more digits to bring down, and no remainder here. So again, I got the same quotient, 632. Okay, great job today, guys. You're doing great.